I sacrificed my peace of mind. A matter of real substance.
This is the story of Sir Isaac Newton, the great mind that changed the world. Stay till the end of the video to uncover his mysterious greatness. In the peaceful countryside of England, at the dawn of the 17th century, a child was born whose mind would reshape the very fabric of the universe. This child, born on January 4th, 1643, in the small town of Woolsthorpe, would grow up to become one of the most influential figures in the history of science. A name that would echo through the halls of time. But Isaac's early life wasn't filled with grandeur. In fact, his beginnings were far from easy. He was born prematurely, a tiny, frail child, so small that he was not expected to survive. His father, a prosperous farmer, passed away before he was born, and when Isaac was just 3 years old, his mother remarried and moved away, leaving him in the care of his grandmother. Isaac, for much of his childhood, found solace in solitude. His early years were marked by a quiet, introspective nature, an unusual boy for his time, often lost in his own world. He had no interest in the usual activities of children, farming, playing, or running with friends. Instead, young Isaac was captivated by his thoughts. He loved to dismantle toys, machinery, and anything that could be tinkered with. There was a deep curiosity inside him, a desire to understand how things worked, a hunger that would not be satisfied by simple play. Isaac's journey would lead him to the prestigious University of Cambridge, where his intellect truly began to bloom. Here, at Cambridge, the world of science as it was understood at the time seemed incomplete. It was an age of discovery, but many fundamental mysteries of the universe were still unexplained. Isaac's brilliance lay not only in his ability to learn, but in his unique ability to think beyond the established ideas. At Cambridge, Newton was introduced to the works of the great scholars of the past, including Galileo and Kepler. But Newton had a gift. He didn't just accept things as they were. He questioned them. With a mind that was not satisfied with the status quo, Isaac would soon set the stage for a revolution in science. Isaac's obsession with understanding the world around him grew. In 1665, the world faced an unprecedented crisis, the Great Plague of London. Amid the chaos, Newton, like many others, was sent back to his childhood home to escape the epidemic. What could have been a time of despair turned out to be a golden period in his life, a period of deep introspection and boundless creativity. For 2 years, Newton immersed himself in his studies, experimenting and discovering at an astonishing pace. It was during this time, in the quiet of his countryside retreat, that he laid the foundations for his greatest work. It was in the solitude of Woolsthorpe that Newton made his breakthrough. The story goes that he was sitting under an apple tree when an apple fell to the ground. A simple, everyday event. But to Newton, it was a moment of revelation. Why did the apple fall straight down, and why did it always fall toward the earth? This seemingly mundane question led him to ponder the forces of nature and the very fabric of gravity itself. But Isaac wasn't content with simple observation. He had a powerful insight. What governed the fall of an apple might be the same force that controlled the movements of the planets and the moon. This insight was revolutionary. Newton began to work on what would become his law of universal gravitation, a law that would change the way humans understood the universe. In 1687, Newton published Philosophiae Naturalis Principia Mathematica, the mathematical principles of natural philosophy. This work, often simply called the Principia, was nothing short of groundbreaking. It introduced the world to the laws of motion and gravity, concepts that would form the bedrock of classical mechanics for centuries to come. In his Principia, Newton outlined 3 fundamental laws of motion that would govern the physical world. 1. The first law of motion. An object in motion will stay in motion, and an object at rest will stay at rest unless acted upon by an external force. 2. The second law of motion. The force acting on an object is equal to its mass times its acceleration, famously expressed as F equals ma. 3. The third law of motion. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. These laws weren't just theoretical. They provided a framework for understanding everything from the fall of a stone to the motion of the planets. For the first time, the universe could be described in mathematical terms as a machine governed by precise laws. Newton's discovery of universal gravitation was equally revolutionary. He proposed that every mass in the universe exerts an attractive force on every other mass. This force, which we call gravity, was the reason why the planets orbited the sun, why apples fell to the ground, and why the universe functioned in the orderly way that it did. For centuries, the workings of the cosmos had been shrouded in mystery. But now, Newton had provided the answers. Newton's laws of motion and gravity didn't just revolutionize the way we understood Earth. They changed our understanding of the entire cosmos. His work explained the movements of the planets and the moons, allowing astronomers to calculate the orbits of celestial bodies with incredible accuracy. He showed that the universe was not a chaotic, unpredictable place, but a system of laws that could be understood through reason and mathematics. Isaac Newton was not just a scientist. He was a prophet who spoke the language of the universe itself. His discoveries laid the foundation for the work of future giants like Albert Einstein, who would later build upon Newton's theories to unlock even deeper mysteries of space and time. But Newton's genius was not confined to the study of motion and gravity. He was a polymath, a mind whose curiosity knew no bounds. In addition to his work in mechanics, he delved deeply into the study of light and color. Through his experiments with prisms, Newton discovered that white light was composed of a spectrum of colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. He was the first to demonstrate that light could be split and recombined, shattering the prevailing theories of his time. In his book Optics, 1704, Newton detailed his experiments with light and laid the groundwork for the field of optics. His work in this area would later influence the development of telescopes, microscopes, and even the understanding of the nature of light itself. By the time Isaac Newton reached his later years, his influence was undeniable. He had become a towering figure in the world of science, a man whose work had transformed humanity's understanding of the universe. His contributions spanned not only physics and astronomy, but also mathematics and philosophy. His work in calculus, though contemporaneously credited to Gottfried Leibniz, was a critical tool that allowed him to develop his laws of motion and gravity. Yet, for all his accomplishments, Newton was a man of great contradictions. He was intensely private, often withdrawn from society, and had a reputation for being difficult and temperamental. Despite the enormous respect he commanded, he spent much of his life at odds with other leading scientists of his time. In fact, his rivalry with Leibniz over the invention of calculus remains one of the most famous scientific feuds in history. Isaac Newton passed away on March 20, 1727, at the age of 84. The world had lost one of its greatest minds, but the legacy of his work would live on for centuries. The laws he discovered, the insights he provided, would form the foundation for almost all modern science and engineering. His influence reaches far beyond physics. From the moon landing to the development of the internet, Newton's discoveries about the nature of the universe continue to impact our lives in ways he could never have imagined. Sir Isaac Newton was not just a man of his time, he was a man ahead of his time. His discoveries laid the groundwork for the technological marvels of the modern world. The precision of GPS, the trajectory of spacecraft, the design of modern buildings, these all owe their existence to Newton's insights. Newton's greatness lies not only in his discoveries, but in how they changed the way humans viewed their place in the universe. He showed us that the universe was not a place of mystery and chaos. It was a grand, orderly machine, governed by laws that could be understood and, ultimately, harnessed. In the end, Isaac Newton did more than change science. He changed the way we see the world, the cosmos, and ourselves. Through his eyes, we have learned to understand the mysteries of the universe. Through his mind, we have come to see that with knowledge, we hold the key to unlock the secrets of existence. Sir Isaac Newton, a man whose curiosity and brilliance changed the world forever.